People often assume that communication problems happen because others are irrational, difficult, or intentionally uncooperative. In reality, many conflicts arise because people process information, react emotionally, and communicate in fundamentally different ways. One common mistake is expecting everyone to think and behave according to the same standards. Individuals differ in pace, priorities, emotional expression, and decision-making. When these differences are misunderstood, frustration grows quickly. Some people focus primarily on results and efficiency. They prefer direct communication, quick decisions, and clear goals. Others value stability, predictability, and patience. They avoid unnecessary conflict and prefer gradual change. Another group is highly social expressive and emotionally driven. They prioritize relationships, enthusiasm, and interaction. Others are analytical, cautious, and detail-oriented. They value precision, logic, and structure. Problems appear when people interpret these differences negatively rather than neutrally. Direct communication may seem aggressive to one person, while cautious behavior may appear weak or indecisive to another. Emotional expressiveness can be interpreted as lack of seriousness, while analytical thinking may appear cold or distant. Most individuals naturally communicate in the style that feels most comfortable to them. However, this creates friction when interacting with people who operate differently. Communication becomes more effective when people adjust their approach based on the person they are speaking with, rather than relying only on their own preferences. Understanding personality differences also changes the way conflict is viewed. Many disagreements are not caused by bad intentions, but by incompatible communication styles, expectations, and emotional reactions. Recognizing this reduces unnecessary tension and personal resentment. Another important idea is that people tend to overestimate the correctness of their own behavior. What feels normal, natural, or logical to one person may feel uncomfortable or confusing to someone else. Greater self-awareness improves communication because it makes adaptation possible. Emotional reactions often intensify misunderstanding. Under stress, people become more rigid and rely more heavily on their default behavior patterns. Direct personalities become more controlling. Cautious personalities withdraw. Expressive personalities become more impulsive, and analytical personalities become more distant. Improving communication therefore requires flexibility rather than forcing others to change. Small adjustments in tone, pacing, detail, or emotional expression can significantly improve interaction. Speaking differently to different people is not manipulation, but practical communication. This perspective is especially useful in workplaces, relationships, and group settings where people with very different personalities must cooperate. Teams function more effectively when differences are understood as complementary rather than problematic. Another key insight is that no communication style is universally superior. Each has strengths and weaknesses. Fast, decisive individuals may struggle with patience, while highly analytical individuals may overcomplicate decisions. Socially expressive people may inspire others, but overlook details, while calm, stable individuals may resist necessary change. The goal is not to classify people rigidly, but to recognize recurring patterns that influence interaction. Labels become harmful when they reduce people to stereotypes rather than helping understanding. The central idea is that communication improves when people stop assuming that everyone experiences the world in the same way. Many conflicts can be reduced by recognizing personality differences and adapting accordingly. The key insight is simple. People are not impossible to understand because they are irrational. They are difficult to understand because they often operate according to different emotional and communication patterns.